Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. Wow, what a game. What a game. Oh, my gosh. Woo! Finally, we get this monkey off our back. This streak has ended. It's so nice. The ending could have been better. But when it's all said and done, guess what? We won. So be it. 4-0, baby. Told you we were going to be 4-0. We're 4-0. I love it. Now, I can tell you, I was expecting it to be a shootout on some level. Now, I didn't know their quarterback was going to play like he did in the Utah game. He played a little better, actually. But it was a real shootout.
Well, I didn't think you had it in you.
I'm your huckleberry.
Why, Johnny Ringo, you look like somebody just walked over your grave. Say when.
Yeah, it was a lot like that. I'm telling you. There was some wild scoring. Our guy, Hendon Hooker. Don't worry, I'm going to get into his grade. It's not going to be a B. Now, I'm not going to grade Anthony Richardson because he's on the other team, but his wouldn't be a B either. Jeez. I guess he wasn't as injured as we thought he was, or at least everybody thought he was in the media, and me too. I thought he was too after watching him in Kentucky game and the USF game. He was playing a different style. I think he figured out, hey, I just got to be me. I got to run. And when he runs, it kind of changes his game, and he starts feeling it, and all of a sudden the momentum starts lining up for him, and he played a great game. I mean, there's just no doubt about that. Was he perfect? Did he make some bad throws? Yes, because he's not got that great an arm. But when you combine that with his throwing style and how tough he is, it's pretty lethal. It really is. Now let's get down into these stats. Tennessee, as you can see over here on the right, 22 of 28 for Hendon Hooker. That is just, man, this guy is special. He is just a special player. 349 yards, but whoops, wait a minute. He also had 13 carries for 112 yards and a TD. So he threw for 2 TDs, ran for a TD, and had a total of 461, if my math is correct. 461 yards he was responsible for. Let me just go ahead and let you in on what kind of grade I'm going to give him. That's right, A++. There aren't enough pluses to go with it on that chalkboard. It just needs to keep going. This might be, I don't know if it's the best game I've ever seen a volunteer quarterback have, because that, I've got some recency bias going on because it just happened. I'd have to look back at the past, but it was a phenomenal game. I know you think about all the greats. I don't even want to list them all because we've had so many great quarterbacks, but man, this is one of the best I've ever seen as far as a performance. It was the best he's had all year, and he's played good and solid all year, and just super solid. But he hadn't been super sharp right off the bat. That first throw he made for the Vols' very first play was spot on. And I was like, okay, this guy's ready to roll. And he did the whole game. He was awesome. And the Vols rushed for 227 yards, which was not bad. As you can see, Jabari Small had a nice game, 19 rushes for 90 yards, a real nice 4.7 average, and he ran the ball the most of any of our running backs. Jalen Wright ran it 10 times for 25 yards. So overall, our rushing game was solid. It wasn't great by any stretch, but it was solid. I'm going to give it a B. And, of course, Hendon was a big part of the running game, so that's 227 yards. Not bad at all. And Tennessee had 2 turnovers, of course, and unfortunately, I tell you, we have tried to keep Pittsburgh in the game. We've tried to keep Florida in the game with these turnovers, and we just can't seem to clean that up in these big games. And I don't mind telling you, I was having some choice words about these turnovers because they definitely get me upset, and I'm glad you didn't have to hear what I had to say.
You don't need to hear things like that. You just a boy.
That's right. You don't need to hear that. You're just a boy. On the defensive side of the ball, Florida had 453 yards in the air. A big part of that was Richardson's ability to scramble and just give his receivers an extra 1, 2, 3 seconds, and we can't We can't cover people 4 and 5 and 6 seconds. We just can't do it. We don't have the hosses back there for that. You know, it's not that we're a bad defense by any stretch. I'm not saying that. But what it boils down to is you've got to have a ton of 5 stars if you're going to give somebody 5, 6 seconds. And that's what Richardson gives you with his legs. You know, he's so hard to sack. And even when you get him and there's 2 people got their arms around him, somehow that right arm flings it. And he's intentionally grounding the ball, but they never call it. So that annoyed the crap out of me. But you know what? In today's football, you can get away with that because it's all about protecting the quarterback, and it's all about leaning towards the offensive side of the ball, which, so be it. Yeah, I want our quarterback protected too, and that's fine. But, yeah, they had their way in the air, and that's frustrating. Here's the one fumble they had, which was huge. They were getting ready to get the game real nice and tight and close, and then we took that ball, and I think that's when we went up 17. They had 141 yards rushing, but 62 of that was Anthony Richardson. So they did not run the ball well against us, which is actually surprising with their offensive line, and they've got some great running backs. You know, they were under a 4-yard average, which is really good. I'm proud of the defense as far as the running game. They did a really good job. But as far as the passing game, they got ripped. That's all there is to it. So overall, I got to give them this grade.
C+. Oh, no, it can't be.
Yep, it's a C+. But you know what? We won the game, and they hung in there best they could, and they did get an interception there at the end. They got Richardson's legs, so he couldn't throw it into the end zone. So you know what? Hey, we won. When it's all said and done, we'll look back at this, and we're 4-0, and I feel great about our situation. And I think 9-3 is very much intact for us, which is what I've been saying from day one, that we would start 4-0 and that we'd probably be 9-3 by the end of this. And that's where we're headed right now, which that would be a great, true first year of Josh Heupel's coaching career here. You know, last year he came into a disaster. 30 transfers. I don't know how many starters transferred, you know, some of our best players. So he did a great job last year, and he's doing a phenomenal job this year. I like how cool and calm this guy is. Look, he's a quarterback, so he's got that quarterback's mindset. Won a national championship, finished second in the Heisman race. So this guy's a cool customer, and that flows throughout the team. They weren't too tight, and that's what's important. They were not too tight for this game. They were relaxed, and they played great. When your offense is scoring like that, that tells you they're not all keyed up like that. You got to be relaxed to score. And they were very sharp. And that was without Cedric Tillman. And we need Cedric Tillman back. But I'll tell you what, I told you I thought our receiving core was deep enough to get through this with Hendon Hooker. And they sure as heck did. Brew McCoy had a great game. As you can see here, he had 5 receptions for 102 yards. Ramel Keaton came out and made an unbelievable play. 3 catches for 69. Jalen Hyatt, they were really keying on him. They were really trying to stop Hyatt. And he still got 5 catches. And there you see the 349 yards. And we scored and scored often. Look at the average of 15.9. That's going to impress some NFL people because all you hear is, oh, this guy's a system quarterback. That's why no, he's good because he's good. Okay, he's got a great arm. He can run like the wind. You know, he's going to play on Sundays. That's pretty clear to me. You know, there's a lot of NFL teams taking a look at this guy now, especially after this game. Good grief. And I am so glad we won this game because let me tell you what the national media was going to do if they had continued this streak on us, Florida that is. It was going to be just like this. Oh, yeah. Don't ever think the national media is your friend. They're not. They will cut Tennessee right on the Achilles every chance they get, and they would have loved to rub that salt in our wound. Oh, they've beaten you this many times in a row. Florida's got your number. You'll never beat them. This was your 1 year to beat them. And, hey, you know what? We did have a 10-point spread on this thing, and we had them 17 with 7 minutes to go. And what was Billy Napier thinking going for 2 when he was down 17 on that first touchdown? What was that about? That makes no sense. He coached like a maniac all day. Like he had no chance in this game, so he's just going to go for it every single time. And that was really hard on the defense because you're trying to stop an offense 4 times in a row and keep them under 10 yards with Anthony Richardson back there running like a crazy person. And this coach just coaching like he's got his hair on fire. Let me tell you something. Had they won, I guess it would have worked out great for him. But he made some decisions that, you know, cut both ways. You know, when you constantly go for it, and you leave points on the field, those points can come back and haunt you, because I'm sure it would have been nice for them to only have to kick a field goal to tie that game instead of having to throw a Hail Mary, because they would have definitely had a possibility to getting down to the 30-yard line and kick a field goal. So, you know, if you're going to coach like that, hey, sometimes it's going to work out for you. Sometimes it's going to blow up in your face. And there was a couple times where, like I said, he left some points on the field, and so be it. You know, there's times it worked out for him too. So I'm not sitting here ripping the guy too much, but I didn't care for that decision. I was like, that makes no sense going for two. That just didn't. They needed to score a touchdown, score another touchdown, and kick a field goal. Scoring 2 touchdowns with 2 points, that's not going to get you where you need to go. All right, folks, great win. I mean, a fantastic win. We're 4-0. LSU, you're up next, and I'll be covering LSU. And it's going to be nice to have a couple of weeks to let our guys heal up. We got some folks in the secondary who need to get healed up, and we need to have everybody ready to go against LSU, because it's going to be down there in Baton Rouge, and it's not going to be easy. But what a fantastic win for the Vols. I know the entire state is fired up. And if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Let's me know to continue to cover the Vols. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I'd appreciate it. And we'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay.